Males and females have frolicked fiercely and given themselves to each other with wild abandon. At times discreet or acrobatic, quick or frenetic, daily life on the savannah swings to the rhythm of their romps. Some separated straight away, while others have overcome their differences to form a couple. The latter will soon discover the advantages of conjugal life and its inevitable inconveniences.
They can be sexy, gorgeous, even totally irresistible. But on the savannah, males are also unpredictable.
They can be sensual, extremely desirable, true temptresses. But oh, can they be complicated?
If men come from Mars,
And women from Venus?
in nature, males and females also live.
On 2 different planets.
But one fine day,
Or maybe one night?
they'll have to cross paths.
Because even here, it's hard to escape the irresistible urge to reproduce.
In nature, when it comes to raising offspring, you'll find every possible model. Some, like jackals and vultures, have chosen faithfulness and the routine of a comfortable little life as a couple. Others, like hippopotamuses, lions, and baboons, have wild sex lives within mixed communities that are often quite rowdy. And finally, there are the eternal singletons who escape family quarrels altogether, like cheetahs, leopards, and elephants. But whether they are in a couple, a clan, a community, or even on their own, males and females rarely have the same notions about parental responsibilities. Some females have taken to life in a community with one or several males by their side. Needless to say, it makes daily life easier having a companion nearby to protect you or satisfy your sexual appetite. But if there's one that's good at living in mixed communities, it's the baboon.
Female baboons find the big, brawny males charming, especially as they've got the highest branches all to themselves. Not a bad idea, girls, because this is the best place to raise a baby.
But, the high-up spots are hard to get. And they're usually squatted by the dominant females who pass them on from mother to daughter.
Living in a community is all fine and well, but for those at the bottom of the hierarchy, daily life is not a walk in the park. Because family quarrels, dramas, and disputes happen a lot in the lower branches. It's a daily occurrence here for neighbors to quarrel and put on displays of power. That's because the young males dream of only one thing: climbing up the hierarchy and dethroning the Pasha. For now, this leader has little to worry about. They're far from measuring up. Like every morning, the Pasha is out with his court, stocking up on food. This cheeky youngster is not afraid and plans to take this opportunity to flirt with one of the Pasha's favorites. the dominant male is acting like he hasn't noticed. But his favorite is not in the mood to put up with this gushing youngster. To maintain his status as the master of this harem, the Pasha has to step in. If he slacks in his role of bodyguard and good father, she won't think twice about looking around for his replacement. Because in this very hierarchical society, it's often the females who call the shots. It's no coincidence that males and females live in cohabitation. If they accept to live together, it's because they both get something out of it. This rule applies to other species as well.
Ah, life is so much easier with these incredible huntresses by your side. The lionesses are the best. They provide food, shelter, and don't ask for much in exchange.
Let's face it, besides playing the hunks, waving their manes around, marking their territory, roaring every now and then, and napping, their lifestyle isn't what you'd call very active.
Life in a community is rarely calm. Lionesses often have to deal with real domestic tyrants that make their lives hell. However, when it comes to food, lions never joke around. When these males sit down for dinner, they serve themselves first, and they certainly don't share. Just because the females bring in 80% of the food and take all the risks, doesn't mean they get any thanks. But when hunger calls, they're not afraid to jump in the ring. The males have a hard time giving up this dish that's just the way they like it, raw. When you choose to surround yourself with ruffians to watch over the pride, sometimes you have to settle for the leftovers and put up with the quarrels. Not far from here lives another species whose males are also not so charming or chivalrous. But how could it be any different? In this harem, promiscuity and territorial conflicts cause perpetual tensions.
He just can't stop himself from growling, burping, and farting. But apparently you can get used to anything. And how could they afford not to? He keeps them safe. He's a whole security squad all on his own.
Yep, even though it's a tight squeeze, they're very happy to have a cool, safe place to hang out with their female friends all day.
After a long night of roaming, the boss leisurely returns home to rest. Every morning it's the same routine. He scrupulously inspects both his domain and his harem. Because he wasn't the only one to join the group at sunrise, a stranger was quick to gatecrash. Male and female hippopotamuses all huddle together and share the same bath. And since they can't float, the prime places where they can touch the bottom are in high demand. This giant doesn't look very relaxed. Something is bothering him. The young adult males have a bad habit of getting too close to his partners. They've even got the nerve to taunt him by spouting out urine and excrements. When it comes down to it, the females spend their time splashing around in something resembling a septic tank. An intruder has taken advantage of all this confusion to infiltrate the bloat. But the dominant male is ready to fight. Just so things are clear, he's got exclusive rights to all the females in the harem. His incisors are very dissuasive, as they can cut a crocodile in two. The scars on his body prove that he's fought and won many battles to maintain his status. To escape this volatile environment and keep their calves from getting trampled, the mothers isolate themselves with their newborns. But when they're away from the group, they are exposed to other dangers. Just because the boss is violent, dirty, and loud doesn't mean he can't be watchful and devoted to his bloat. Even with their powerful jaw and 68 teeth, no crocodile would dare confront 3 tons of muscle and razor-sharp canines over 50 centimeters long. It's better to retreat. Sure, life as a group isn't always peaceful, but on the savannah and in its waters, having a male by your side often means you are in security. Mothers in the baboon community also count on the large males to protect their babies. because certain females would do anything to get a little one.
Babies. They adore babies. They pamper and cuddle them. Simply put, they never let them go.
They want heirs. Tiny ones at all costs. It's all they think about and can never get enough. But what a grind.
If there's one thing that all baboons have in common, it's their fascination with babies. Everyone adores the little ones with their black fur. The females who don't have one of their own go absolutely gaga. To get close to a baby, even briefly, the female baboons first have to pay their respects to the new mothers by showing them their behinds. This fascination for the little black-furred babies incites diverse displays of affection, from simple hugs and loving glances to outright kidnapping attempts. There she goes. Not very discreet. Kidnappings are commonplace within the baboon gang. Luckily, the mothers can count on the big males to protect their offspring. If a male baboon wants to keep a female, he's got to treat her right. But pampering their partners and their brood isn't every Pasha's cup of tea. As leaders of the pride, lions provide minimal service.
What would become of them without a lion by their side?
One wonders, because he's only active 4 hours a day, and even that exhausts him.
Since Madam provides the food and shelter, she expects Mr. to fulfill certain obligations, and especially take on the role of super nanny. But lions and lionesses don't deal with parental responsibilities in the same way. He slacks as much when he hunts as he does when he babysits. He prefers to nap in peace. A male, no matter how ferocious, can easily be won over by those much smaller than he. With his big shot act, he more or less fulfills his role as father and protector of the pride. It's simply a matter of entente cordiale between lions and lionesses. Their relationship will only last so long. One fine day, younger and stronger new suitors will come and take his place. On the Savannah, there are also atypical models of life in a community, where males don't always have it so easy. Formidable Amazons, female hyenas, have freed themselves from the males.
What good is it to weigh yourself down with a male? Hyenas do just fine without them, and prefer to keep them at a distance.
It's true, they do take up a lot of space. With their pseudo-penises, their strong jaws, and their brick house build, you'd better tread lightly when they're around.
In this matriarchal society, the balance of power is inversed, and girl power rules. These phallic creatures have established a very strict hierarchy. At the top of it, the queen hyena. She rules the pack, chooses the prey, and leads the hunting missions. The whole court must pledge allegiance to her and submit to a very codified ceremony, sniffing. The subordinate raises her pseudo-penis and lifts her hind paw so the dominant can smell her private parts. This daily greeting ritual strengthens ties and coalitions. The completely submissive and dominated males are kept at a distance. Despite their fierce appearance, the females still have a soft heart. They are incredible mothers. They raise their cubs in collective communities and nurse their offspring for 12 to 16 months, a record length of time amongst carnivores. These pups won't have any kind of relationship with their father, and it's no use trying. The den is off limits. When it comes down to it, a female hyena is both a father and a mother. Hyenas, baboons, hippopotamuses, and lions have adapted to the rules of life in a community in order to raise their offspring. Other species have chosen the appeal of monogamy and conjugal life. It's said that males and females are not suited to live as a couple. And yet, for vultures and jackals, love is something you don't mess around with. Once they've found their soulmate, there's no way they're going to share. This exclusive love ensures they lead a nice, orderly life, free from turmoil, drama, and family quarrels.
Vultures never lack sex appeal. It's in the little things they do, like offering a twig to their loved one. When it comes to seduction, They should win an award.
Their beauty is rare and unsettling. And they've got this incredibly unique je ne sais quoi. It gives them an allure that is timeless and impossible to define.
A scavenger can still have principles. So they've got to smarten up before doing the deed. The maneuver is delicate. Copulation will be quick, barely 30 seconds. And the neighbors never miss a bit of the show. Competition is fierce among couples who want to have the most beautiful nest. Not only do they have to build in the right spot, but it has to be spacious and sturdy. This young couple will do anything for impeccable decor, even steal branches from other homes. But if you're going to strip a nest, it's best to do it while the owners are away. Sure, they're thieves, but these future parents just want the best. Because over the course of the next 2 months, they'll take turns brooding over their only egg and searching for food. Life as a couple and sharing chores does have its advantages. The nest is under constant guard, even when one of them leaves for the scramble of feeding time. Competition is fierce among scavengers, so they've got to be aggressive if they hope to tear off a few chunks of flesh. Living as a couple is not just a craze among birds. Some canids also have a penchant for monogamy. This is the case for the black-backed jackals.
How can you not fall for a jackal? They're the perfect incarnation of an ideal partner. Considerate, loyal, and devoted.
Pleasing a female jackal is easy. You've got to accept doing household chores, running errands, watching over the pups and the surrounding area. And that is the magic of love.
The black-backed jackal is one of the rare species for whom faithfulness means something. Just like the vultures, they love to give each other twigs and make a sweet little pair. They resemble each other, do everything together, and in exactly the same way. Even marking their territory, one after the other. The male first, and then his partner, or the reverse. And it's often a two-jackal job, especially since they're not the biggest predators around. They'd be nothing but a snack for this cheetah. But they scatter and he prefers to pass. It wouldn't have taken much for a little family to end up orphaned. Because this couple is in charge of a pretty litter of 3 jackal pups. They demand a lot of tender, loving care. But they can count on a devoted mother and father who perfectly master splitting the chores. He'll do the housework and clean the den, while his sweetheart nurses the little ones. And while she's regurgitating delicious pieces of pre-chewed carrion for her little ones, he'll keep watch. The father has spotted a threat. Even if the pups are inside the den, the hyena could flush them out. To defend their pups, these intrepid parents are ready to defy one of the Savannah's most powerful jaws. They bite at his only weak spot, his tendons. Once again, this inseparable couple takes on the enemy together. But could it really be any other way? They can't live without each other. Jackals are very rarely widows or widowers. If something bad happens to one of them, their other half has little chance of survival. Far removed from this loving, faithful couple, there are some who won't stay together their whole lives. In the bird world, there are the inseparable types, and there are the ostriches. Ostriches have an exceptional life expectancy. They can live for over 50 years. Still, love rarely lasts for more than 1 season for them.
These big turkeys perched on stilts have got what it takes to make any head turn. But when it comes to family life, well, let's just say the hens are not exactly maternal.
It's true. This ladies' man with his feathered costume has driven plenty of females wild. He's not the perfect model of faithfulness, but at least he takes responsibility. He's a real doting dad.
Unlike jackals, these 2 lovebirds spend most of their time far away from each other. It's not because they're having problems at home, oh no. It's because the ostriches take turns guarding their nest during the 45-day brooding period. The father sits on the eggs just like the female, and is even specialized in nocturnal brooding, since his black feathers blend into the darkness. But in reality, he's also in charge of early morning chores, and sometimes works part of the day since his mate is in no hurry to take over. It's all well and good to share the chores, but everyone's got to be willing to play their part. And since ostriches don't nurse their chicks, Madam can enjoy going about her own business while her partner takes care of the brood. And Daddy dotes over his chicks, to say the least. He even has a tendency to adopt the ones he finds along the way. and he can quickly find himself in charge of a whole flock of ostrich chicks. Although most small feathered creatures can count on their dads to take care of them, this is rarely the case among mammals. Some have found the perfect way to avoid the inconveniences of life in a community and the constraints of being in a couple. Just pack up and go. The honeymoon was barely over before they called it quits. Elephant cows, female cheetahs, and leopardesses, too, have the heavy task of raising their young without the help of a father. There are only a few on the savannah who can count on a Prince Charming, or even a responsible partner. Like the majority of felines, the leopardess is a forever single.
And maybe it's better. Just look at that lazy bones. He spends his days lying around in his tree and stuffing his face. And he's got no family spirit whatsoever.
Leopardesses are among the savannah's most worthy mothers. And they're always afraid there won't be enough, so they go all the way when it comes to provisions and carry them up using only the strength of their jaw.
Six months have passed. The leopardess isn't alone anymore. Following her steamy relationship with a handsome male, she has given birth to a son. While his father most likely doesn't know he exists, his mother will take care of his education and try to teach him good manners. Like all single mothers, she's got no one to count on for help. The leopardess needs to build up her strength and has no other choice but to leave him alone in the tree. She's worried. She never knows if he'll still be alive when she gets back. The savannah is full of enemies. And life isn't easy with hyenas sticking around day and night. These scavengers watch her every move in hopes of stealing her prey. Better to avoid confrontation with these good-for-nothing fighters. She doesn't measure up. The elephants aren't a threat to the little leopard. But he too needs his mother and a good meal. It shouldn't be much longer now. The leopardess is incredible. Using just the strength of her jaw, she can lift up prey equal to her weight and keep it safe from hyenas. This wildebeest weighs about 20 kilos and should provide them with plenty to eat over the coming days. This supermom will soon be able to enjoy some well-deserved rest and spend a bit of quality time with her son. It's nice that she doesn't have to share her meal with an egotistical male. But being both a good mother and a fearsome predator is exhausting. Female cheetahs know all about that too.
Sure, they're independent, unattached, and completely free from males. But it comes at a price. Female cheetahs are never far from a burnout.
What good is it to weigh yourself down with a male? When you've got teats, the future of the savannah is in your paws, and you take responsibility for it.
The cheetah is an incredibly active and overworked mother. For 18 months, she'll have to feed her little ones, protect them from danger, and teach them hunting techniques. It's exhausting work. Because to escape from the lions and hyenas, she cannot stay in one place for long. The father bailed long before they were born. She'll have to hunt every day in order to get by and nurse her cubs sufficiently. These little gluttons take up a lot of energy, and it's not always easy to surprise a prey with 3 little ones around. After a chase like this, the female cheetah needs to catch her breath and bring her body temperature down. By leading such a busy life and being in a permanent state of stress, this supermom wears out quickly and could jeopardize her health. She's got a short life expectancy, rarely more than 7 years. So as not to wear themselves out like the female cheetahs and the leopardesses, elephant cows have found the solution: raise their calves in all female communities.
The problem with bulls is that they don't know how to behave in society. Their rising testosterone levels may have messed with their brains. So, quite frankly, the less the elephant cows see them, the better.
With them, once the deal is done, it's time for everyone to go back to their own home. And shared custody is out of the question. So, luckily, when it comes to education, these gigantic mothers are the best.
Unlike most felines, elephant cows don't suffer from the torments of being alone. They can count on the goodwill and experience of the elders to help them raise their calves. This newborn who saw the light of day after 22 months of gestation will never know his father. But for the first 10 years of his life, he'll be well cared for. His mother is supported by his sisters, his aunts, his female cousins, and the matriarch, who leads the way. This big baby that already weighed 100 kilos at birth guzzles up to 10 liters of milk a day. He will stay by his mother's side until the age of 4. For these single mothers, solidarity and mutual assistance are their greatest strengths, especially when faced with predators. An elephant calf has been lagging behind. Isolated from the group, he's vulnerable and defenseless. One of his cousins tries to create a diversion. The elephant cows quickly get him back in line. They tighten the ranks and circle around the youngest ones to shield them with their bodies. It's a foolproof technique. United by indestructible family ties, these supermothers can overcome the dangers of the savannah without males. It wasn't easy, But despite their differences, some males and females have succeeded in living together. Whether they live as a couple or in a community, whether they shrug each other off or just can't be apart, their respective planets are aligned by one common goal: to raise their offspring the best way they can.